What's up, guys? Here with the week 2 fantasy league review. Um, some of you guys have probably seen, but we did have a big trade go down in the league today between myself and Dalton. I traded Trevor Lawrence, Calvin Ridley, and Kenneth Gainwell, and got back Jalen Hurts, Brandon Ayuk, and Robert Woods. Obviously, I gave up the best player in the deal, giving up Calvin Ridley, but my quarterback play has been shit, which I kind of thought that would be the case, considering I was the last team to draft a quarterback, so I needed to get an upgrade there. My team has played fairly well to start the season. I am 4th in the league in scoring, but I haven't won, and it's because I've given up the most points. Nothing you can do about it there, so... just a nice little trade there. I didn't see anything crazy on the waivers today. Obviously, I see that the Panthers went for a decent amount of money for a defense. They have obviously a cake matchup this week. I believe Daniel Jones was picked up for like $9 as well. Obviously, it's jumped out to me as I was thinking about picking him up as well before the trade. But without further ado, let me get into the review of the matchups here. My matchup is first, as always, just... Obviously, I sign in. It's the first one that pops up. I lost this matchup. It was 127 to 120. I lost to Casey. Looking at my team, like I mentioned, my quarterback play was horrible. Both weeks I've been able to play the correct quarterback between Lawrence and Burrow. Obviously, I played the right one because Lawrence scored 6, but Burrow only scored 10. So not really a recipe to get victories there. Dalvin Cook played okay with 16. James Conner, nothing, 2.5. Decent play out of Ridley and Johnson, both in 15-16 range. Tyler Lockett killed it for me again, 28 there. My kicker did pretty well with 12. Defense did all right. Darren Waller, 9 points. 9 points is good for your tight end, but when you have Waller, Kelsey, like I definitely expect more there. Obviously, a little bit of a tough matchup for him. Robbie Anderson, not much there. So those few things hurt me. Not much on my bench, so it's not like I could have did anything to really make a difference. I think if I would have played Murray over Connor, I would have lost by decimal points. That's really the only change I could have made to make it close there. Yeah, I mean, even if I had put Waddle over Anderson, I still lose by like just the slightest margin. But it is what it is. Looking over here at Casey's team, Mahomes, 24, good play there. Obviously, he had Derrick Henry, who had a monster day. Looks like it says 182 and 3 touchdowns, 44.7 points. Absolutely great effort out of him. I had to play against him in both the leagues I'm in, so I wasn't too happy about that, but nothing I can do about it. Julio played well with 16. I never saw the play, but everybody and everything I've heard states that he should have had a touchdown as well, so he could have had some more points there. Pitts played all right with 10. Nothing else really going on in his lineup, but that big came out. Derrick Henry did it for him, but you can't expect that every week. Did have Henry Ruggs on the bench at 20. Sam Darnold played okay on the bench with 19. Had Jalen Reagor in the lineup, 1.5 points. Nothing there. Javonte Williams with 8. Sammy Watkins with 6. Kareem Hunt with 6. Obviously, if he doesn't get that production out of Mahomes and Derrick Henry, his team doesn't look too great in my opinion. Just sucks I had to lose to him when his team went off. Next up, I got Michael versus Dakota. Michael won this one 96 to 87. Looking over here at Michael's team, big day out of Lamar Jackson, had 32 points. Chris Godwin found the end zone, had 14. Tunyon found the end zone, had 13. Not much else to speak of here. Tough day for Jonathan Taylor. Only 6. Fournette had 10. To me, that's good for Fournette. Tyreek Hill didn't perform this week. Only 4 points. Laviska Shenault had -3 receiving yards, so obviously not many points there. I did think Jamal Williams would have a better game than 5 points. Obviously I was playing up the revenge game narrative. Thought he'd do a little better there, but couldn't quite get anything going. On the bench, you had Marquise Brown, who had 20. Devin Singletary had 16. So good days out of those guys. Could have got some more points there, but at the end of the day, he got the victory. Looking over here at Dakota's team, Dak had a rough go of it. That whole game, everybody was blowing it up. This game's going to be high scoring, blah, blah, blah. So I faded it in DFS, and it paid off well for me this week. I made about $80 in total. Yeah, I didn't think that's what was going to happen, but I figure, why not? Everybody's going to play all those guys. Obviously, Dak with a rough day, 7.5. Kamara with a rough day, 5. Did not see that coming. Maybe the Panthers defense is legit. We're not really going to find out this week, in my opinion, versus the Texans. But in week 4, the Panthers play the Cowboys, and we will find out if the Panthers defense is good or not when they travel to Texas, play the boys. Played Kenyon Drake. Obviously, he kind of had to with the injury to Josh Jacobs. Got 8 points. I think that's okay given the matchup. I believe Pittsburgh's defense is pretty decent. T. Higgins played well at receiver with 13. Got double digits out of his kicker and defense, and that's usually a recipe for success. It just didn't quite work out here. Nothing to speak of going on the bench. Allen Robinson found the end zone, but not much else, so only got 9 points there. A.J. Brown continues to struggle a little bit. I don't know if it's him, if it's the team. Obviously, it's probably their offensive line maybe some of the coaching changes they've made. Joe Mixon only got him 7.5. Expect a little bit more there, but not much else to cover. Next up, we got probably the highest scoring matchup of the week. We have Garrett versus Josh. Garrett won this one 158-129. Looking over here at Josh's team, Kyler Murray continues to kill it, had 33. Austin Eckler had 18. Chris Carson found the end zone twice, but didn't do much else. But two touchdowns is good enough. Got 15. DJ Moore with 18. Gronk with another 2-touchdown effort with 18. That's 4 touchdowns on the season for Gronk. I'm not sure if that kind of production is going to keep up, but if he's healthy, and it certainly could. I mean, he used to be one of the greats back, probably about 5 years ago, and him and Tom Brady have quite a bit of chemistry together. Patriots defense got him 16 points, so big day there out of the defense. Just couldn't get the victory, because he had Corey Davis who got him 1.8. Obviously, you had to play Corey Davis, especially after the game he had last week. Marquise Callaway with 1.8. I kind of thought he would have a bounce back week after the week 1 performance. Clearly, that's not the case. Maybe he's just a little bit too big of had too much hype coming into the season, and maybe he's just not what he's hyped up to be. Nyheim Hines with 2.7. It's not like he had much on the bench to fill in for those guys. Obviously, he had Josh Jacobs out this week. Hasn't been able to play Will Fuller yet. So it is what it is there. Looking over here at Garrett's team, Russell Wilson with another big day with 23. McCaffrey found the end zone this week, had 22. D-Hop had 13. Mike Evans found the end zone twice with 22. Marvin Jones with 15. Noah Fant found the end zone, got 11. DeAndre Swift with 10. Kicker with 22 points. That's pretty crazy. Defense got him double digits. Nowhere in his lineup did anybody not perform, at least to somewhat what you'd expect. Nearly everybody scored double digits. That's obviously going to be a recipe for success. And as you can see by his score with 158, recipe for a lot of points. Even had Pittman on the bench who had 16. J.D. McKissick on the bench with 18. So, a couple changes, he could have scored even higher. Next up, we got Kenny versus Garrett, number 2. This is loading up here. Kenny won this one. It was 123-84. Looking at Kenny's team, Tannehill had 15. Aaron Jones had the big day on Monday night with the 4-touchdown performance and 38 points. So nice day there. Had Cooper Kupp, who's been killing it this year with 32. And just not much else to speak of in the lineup. Nothing going on the bench, but got the victory. Keenan Allen played okay with 13, but a lot of single-digit performances. So without those, massive days from Kupp and Aaron Jones there, may not be able to get the victory done. Looking over here at Garrett number two's team, Stafford played okay with 17. Devontae Adams still has not found the end zone this season, but he did get 16. Deebo Samuel had 13. Negative points out of his defense. That's a little rough, -1. Not much else going on. Claypool played okay with 8. Miles Sanders was 6. That's not really going to do it for you. Damon Harris had 13. It's all right. DJ Chark with 1 catch. You expect better than that. George Kittle with 3.7. Kittle's obviously considered a top 2, top 3 tight end in the league, and from my perspective, he's probably second best tight end for the NFL, like for your team. But for fantasy purposes, because he's asked to block a whole bunch because he's very, very good at it, and the fact that the Niners don't really pass the ball a ton compared to a lot of the other teams, he's just not really a fantasy guy, especially where you have to draft him. I mean, if you could get him around normal tight ends, round 6, round 7, where a lot of guys go, I think he's fine there. I mean, he will have some good weeks, but I don't think he's much different than some of these other guys. So I would never invest in him like that. But it is what it is. Nothing to speak of on the bench here for Garrett too. Next up, we got Derek versus Dalton. This was the closest matchup of the week, decided by less than a point. Dalton won this one 113.1, and Derek had 112.46. Looking at Derek's team to start, Josh Allen had 17 points. Brandon Cooks had 18, did find the end zone. We'll see if he can continue that. I believe Tyrod's been put on injury reserve for 3 weeks with a hamstring injury, I believe. So we'll have Davis Mills filling in at quarterback. Until today, I had no clue who he was or where he went to school. I found out that I think it was a 4th-round draft pick. He played at Stanford. He played kind of in and out of the lineup there. I guess he was often injured. I think he had 14 touchdowns and 11 picks in college. So we'll see if he can do anything. Obviously, that'll have probably a major effect on Brandon Cook's value. Kelsey gave him 20. Bill's defense gave him 19. Huge day out of the defense there. 10 points out of the kicker. Good work there. Did leave some points on the bench. Obviously, had Kirk Cousins on the bench who had 25. Can't fault him there. Obviously, you're going to play Josh Allen. Had James White on the bench with 15.5. Sterling Shepard on the bench with 13. Yeah, you're probably not playing any of those guys over who he played. I mean, Cooper struggled this week. Jarvis Landry got hurt in that game, so their point totals were down. But you're playing those guys over them, so I can't really fault him for the lineup decisions he made there. I mean, played Melvin Gordon and Myles Gaskin over Mike Davis, but that's probably the right play. Mike Davis playing Tampa, tough matchup there, but just didn't work out for him. It happens sometimes. Looking over here at Dalton's team, Jalen Hurts, who is going to be my quarterback moving forward, hopefully can keep performing like this. Had 22. Didn't really pass a ton, but had a lot of rushing. Did run the ball in. Elliott finally got his game going, had 17. Chase Edmonds with 10. Stephon Diggs had 14. Got in the end zone. CeeDee Lamb had 13. Robert Woods with 10. Jamar Chase found the end zone again with 12. Nothing else going on in his lineup there. But outside of his tight end, pretty decent performances out of everybody there. Obviously that got him the victory this week. And then the last matchup we got here is Jason versus Matt. And this was 145 to 112. Matt and me are at the bottom of the standings at 0-2, but that does not reflect my team, in my opinion, based on how many points I've been putting up. So obviously that I will not be near the bottom in the power rankings based on that. Looking here, we have Jason's team. Tom Brady is killing it this year with 30 points. I thought he would play very well this year. Unfortunately, I couldn't get him in either one of my leagues, or didn't get him. I mean, I guess I could have if I would have picked him early enough. Big day out of him. Chubb had 16. Najee Harris was 17. Was kind of saved by a 25-yard receiving touchdown near the end of that game. Justin Jefferson found the end zone this week with 16. Cortland Sutton could not find the end zone this week, but did have a big day with 20 points. Looks like Juju had a running touchdown. Interesting. 13 points. Hawkinson had a very nice catch last night for a touchdown. Finished with 17. And all in all his players had double digits outside of one, not including his defense and kicker, who, when they get double digits, that's a big bonus. On his bench, he had Mike Williams, who had 19. He seems to be really turning it on this year. Tony Pollard with a nice day with 22. So left some production on the bench. Could have even got some more points there. Looking over here at Burley's team, I guess maybe after I berated him last week for benching his number one pick, he decided to play him. I would have went with Rodgers this week, even though both games were supposed to be high scoring, but I would have never thought Aaron Rodgers would have had 2 back-to-back shit games. Everybody knew to play him. It is what it is. Obviously, Herbert was supposed to have a good game, but like I said, I oftentimes feel like the game everybody thinks is going to explode offensively for the week. I just always feel like, oftentimes it doesn't. So, obviously, that was a difference in points there. Didn't cost him the victory by any means. Got 27 out of Rodgers, who had on the bench, and 15 out of Herbert, but lost by much more than that. Darrell Henderson got hurt in the game. His status for this week is up in the air. I think he has a rib cartilage injury. I don't think he will play this week, so that means Sony Michel will play. Really doesn't matter because they're playing Tampa, so probably not a good matchup for him. But he did get him 16. Terry McLaurin had a huge day with Heineke at quarterback. Heineke was targeting him a lot. Let me click here and see how many targets he actually got. Well, while that loads, he was targeting him quite a bit. Oh, shit. This doesn't even say. He had 14 targets. There we go. Even his interception late in the game, he stared him down and made it easy for the safety or the corner, whoever it was, to step in and make that pick. And I just didn't think he played that well. I don't think it was a well-drawn play either. There's no route behind it to pull the safety or corner, off of McLaurin there, so the guy could easily jump it. Thielen found the end zone again, got him 13. Tyler Boyd played all right with 11. Bucs defense played amazing with 19. Had 2 touchdowns by the same player. I'm not sure. I guess it's been done because I didn't hear anything about it, but that's crazy for a defensive player to score 2 touchdowns in the same game. Dallas Goedert sucked at tight end for him. Cole Beasley didn't do much. CEH with only 2.5 points. He's struggling so far this year, and it just may be the case. Like, a running back's not going to do well with Mahomes and Kelsey and Hill. I don't know. I like CEH. I think he's a very good player. I think he's on a good team where he will have opportunities. It's just, I don't know why it's not working out. Luckily, I don't have him on none of my teams. Obviously, if I would have drafted him, I would have been happy. But after the fact, it's looking fine. Nothing going on the bench. Did have Tim Patrick on the bench who had 11, so could have got a few more points there, but nothing that would have swung his matchup there. Nothing else to really cover, I don't believe. Let's see, I'm looking here. Rondell Moore got picked up for $12, so good bit of money being spent there. Kenny picked up Cordell Patterson for 10. We'll see. I think currently Cordell Patterson is the 12th running back in fantasy and probably a full point PPR league. So, may not be bad. I don't really know if that's going to continue. We'll see what happens. It's always worth a flyer, in my opinion. We're having a good season so far. Haven't had any issues arise yet, and everybody seems to be enjoying themselves. Obviously, games start tomorrow, so make sure you get your lineup set. Haven't had any issues with that so far, so that's good. But as more injuries happen and people get COVID, I believe Antonio Brown's been placed on the COVID list, so he will not likely be playing this week, but we'll see how that works out. I'm not sure what the new rules are. I'm not sure if he's vaccinated and all that stuff. So we'll see what happens there. But good luck to everybody this week, and I'll see you guys next time.